family-owned business. We've been in orcharding and dairying for 106 years. I'm the fourth generation. We've got about 170 acres of apples, and we milk about 200 cows on a dairy farm. So I guess I just got in the business because it's a family business and what I grew up around.
I kind of grew up on apples. In 1951, my parents bought some land and added to our dairy farm, and it had some apple trees on it. I bought the farm and increased it to 125 acres. Now we're back down to 30 acres.
I haven't been in the apple business for a long time. This will actually be my 8th season. And prior to that, I was an engineer with a 3M company. How did I get started with apples? My family was we lived in California, and we were on a college shopping hunt for our oldest daughter at the time. And we're in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and saw an ad for an apple orchard for sale. And of course we had to go look at it. We were one of those crazy people that went ahead and said, hey, let's grow apples. Didn't know anything about it, just thought there were red ones and green ones. And that was about it, but we've learned a lot since then. So, in that 8 years, I kind of really dove into the apple industry with everything I have.
I started in the orchard business about 14 years ago after retiring from another position out on the East Coast. Our farm was started in 1972, and we raised beef cattle. It was our main product, hogs, a few other crops. Soon found out that that was not a very profitable business, and started with a few pumpkins and apples, and found that we were on a well-traveled road in the fall that was much better than and more profitable and more enjoyable than
We went from the apple-only business 8 years ago to really the agri-entertainment world. So now, while we have multiple markets where we sell wholesale, we also supply a lot of other orchards that are around big cities but don't have a very big orchard, and then our own entertainment retail business. So that's the area that's grown the most for us, with pick your own apples and pick your own pumpkins and hay rides and corn mazes and spinning apples, and just goes on and on.
90-95% is basically it's Honeycrisp apples, and if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be in the apple business anymore, because the other varieties were just not paying the bills. We sell 90% of our apples to other growers that don't grow enough Honeycrisp to supply the demand, and the other 5% of them actually go to the packing shed.
We're pretty much 100% retail type business. We're very focused on young families and having the kids come out to the orchard.
We sell about 20% there on our farm, and then the other 80% we go to large chain stores, wholesale, all over the state, in Minnesota and Illinois. Most all of it are direct. We pack our own and sell our own, but then we do go through some distributors.
Our apples are marketed on the farm. We have a farm market. We have stalls at the St. Paul Farmers Market that we do every Saturday and Sunday starting in the middle of August. And then we do farm markets during the week. We have a organic grocery store that gets all of their local apples from us, and a little bit of wholesaling here and there. 30% would be on the farm, 40% farm markets, and then the remainder probably would be wholesale.
Right now it appears to me University of Wisconsin is really digging deep to help their growers understand what's going on in the marketplace. Today's example is a great one with Regina and Michelle, where what are the strengths and weaknesses? Guys, what's coming at us? What is the threat down the road to us, and how do we prepare to respond to that? And I think by bringing everyone together and understanding it, that's a really valuable piece.
Definitely integrated pest management, and most folks understand that that really maybe is the way to go, but it is also more costly. But I think that it does assist us in marketing our apples.
Take advantage of every educational opportunity I can. I will learn more by going to these things than any other possibility. They didn't teach anything about this in engineering schools.
This has been an excellent conference, and we appreciate the University of Wisconsin for what they do. Even though we're from Minnesota, we actually are members of the the Wisconsin Apple Growers Association because of their great integrated pest management support, their entomologists, and the expertise of the folks from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. They've been really supportive, and we are happy that they included a few Minnesota folks.
It is very enjoyable to be out there this morning and see the crop hanging on the trees and see that you can accomplish something.
In the fall, I like working with people, and the people that come to the farm and that, and they want to know about things, and a lot of our customers are, second, third generation customers too, and so you get to know them, and you kind of almost say, well, this is the weekend that so and so ought to come, and so that's kind of fun, dealing with them, and they have lots of questions, on growing their little apple tree in their backyard, so that's nice too. It's just working outside too.
One of the other things that we do that a lot of places do, but to me it kind of creates that full circle, is we have a huge bakery. So we make a lot of actual homemade pies, and they can see the pies being made. We make cider on the premise, and I think it kind of gives kids a full look. They're able to put two and two together that, hey, we're picking apples, and this is some of the things you can do with it. And obviously in the northern part of the state, in the fall, it's just gorgeous with all the colors and everything.
Going to fix that. With only 1% of the population having anything to do with agriculture, there's a real hunger there for some connection to the agriculture farming world. So there's a good opportunity there. People are willing to pay for that. The other side is it's something that I enjoy doing because I almost feel a calling to it in a way, because people are so removed as to where their food comes from.
Over in the Dells this winter, our cider took second place with the Wisconsin Apple Growers. We're pretty proud of that because we beat some fairly significant growers that have been doing it for quite a while. We think that there's some real potential taste-wise, both in the juice, or the so-called cider, as well as the hard cider, the real cider. That's what's exciting, to get people to come and say that's a real good product.
The Wisconsin weather is, of course, a big challenge. Midwest weather is very variable and explosive at times.
I guess probably the weather, things you can't control. The rest of the things, a challenge that you can control and you can research and you can, attack, those things you can deal with. But the weather and things you don't control, that's the hardest thing to deal with, because there's nothing you can do. You can do everything right, and, you have a hailstorm and it's done. You get years like last year, we had a hailstorm, and, the income from the apples was, probably only a third of what it normally would be, so that's kind of why we have the two. This year milk prices are really bad, so the two kind of balance each other.
Anywhere from how cold it gets in the winter time, how much snow you have, to what kind of weather you have in the spring, whether you have frost during bloom time, or always worrying about hail. As I look up in the sky, I'm like, okay, what kind of clouds are those? And then in the fall, if you're in the retail business, we have maybe 4 weekends to make all our money, and if it rains on one of those weekends, well, there goes 25% of your profits. You don't get that back. In order to make investments in the orchard, the availability of capital in a way, structured in a way that it fits what our needs are, thinking we won't start making any money on that planning for 4 or 5 years. So how do we structure a capital plan where we can handle that kind of thing, that kind of stuff. Usually somebody has to work off the farm just in order to have a shot. Usually somebody has to work off the farm just in order to have a shot at having Ford health benefits.
There's a lot of regulations, pages and pages of inspections and so forth. We'd like to do it, but even if we sell out the door like a number of growers are doing, is there a future in that? I don't know. Our goal is to sell an alcoholic or a hard cider simply because the profit is significantly greater than just juice.
Juice is not a very big profit at all.
In our business, and why I'm here today is you need to be out in front of everything, and we're always trying to be open-minded on where to head to reduce our overall risk.
We want to be on a different scale. We're trying to bring these great varieties, and we're profit motivated. Bring these great varieties to retailers to say, hey, we got a great product, let's go. And we can do that, but we need the right grower partners. Again, a lot of our growers they're not very large growers, 40, 80, 100 acre growers, but they're good growers. They don't have the scale to do it on their own. Together, we're able to have that scale and bring it to market. The apple region in Minnesota, Wisconsin, I think probably the toughest piece right now is we are at a yield disadvantage as compared to Washington, so there's always price pressures. Our cost of production is a lot higher than Washington, and our yields are lower. So that means our margins as growers are always going to be more constrained than Washington.
Two most important elements are growing the right variety and having just absolutely top quality. Any other program that is trying to figure out ways to get rid of seconds or those kind of things, those are just loss minimization programs. Your focus has to be on doing what you have to do in order to grow nothing but top quality apple.
It's no secret my in-laws are not getting any younger, so they're a huge help to our orchard at this point. So just trying to figure out the next step to transition orchard. We really want to keep it going.
Transferring the business over to the two boys and hoping that they can somehow work together on it. Around us, and again this maybe is a challenge, are housing developments, although the economy has slowed some of that down, but we are bordered by homes right now, and so you do have to be more careful as to how you operate your business.
The future for our business is going to stay retail, and so what I want to do is keep trying to be creative in moving forward in ways to generate more income in terms of new products that we can expand.
The opportunity. We truly view that it should be a collaborative effort with all the growers in the Driftless region. Call it Driftless, call it Minnesota, Wisconsin, Northern Iowa. Let's create a unique identity region, and let's work on unique varieties that add value to our retailers and market them collectively together.
And I don't know, it's kind of tough, we had 20 years where we had real good weather and everything. Now we've had 5 or 6 years we've had hailstorms and some freezes and that. And at this point, you almost push the kids to go do something else because you don't have to have that day-to-day worry. You can go to a job and punch out and go home and not have the worry. But then also I think it's it is a nice thing to have your own business and work outside and so I guess right now just the way the conditions are and it's hard to to put that many hours and work that hard and then have to worry about whether you can pay all the bills at the end of the year. So right now it's kind of a tough thing to see what is in the future. I know for me, I want to keep growing the business and keep doing it and that. But as the next generation, to me right now it's hard for me to tell them, yep, this is the life to pick.